Ryan Cole stood frozen in the middle of the crowded toy store, the sound of cheerful music and squeaky shopping carts blurring into a distant hum. In his hands was a pink box, the doll Lily had been asking for all month, but instead of feeling joy, his chest ached with dread. Lily's 7th birthday was in 3 days. She had been talking about it non-stop. The cake, the guests, the decorations, and most of all, the part that made Ryan's heart twist every time she said it. "Mommy's coming home for my birthday this time, right, Daddy?" He'd tried to correct her gently, but every time, her face would fall, and she'd go quiet for hours. She missed her mother, even though she barely remembered her. Ryan had lost his wife, Emily, to a car accident when Lily was just 4. Since then, he'd been both parents, the bedtime storyteller, the morning breakfast maker, the shoulder to cry on. But no matter how hard he tried, there were some things he couldn't replace. Now, 3 years later, Lily had told her friends that Mommy and Daddy would both be at her party. She'd even set a place for her mother at the table in her tiny drawing of the event, complete with balloons and sparkly pink icing. Ryan's heart broke when he saw it taped to the fridge that morning. He had planned to just go along with it, maybe say Mommy was watching from heaven. But when he overheard her telling her classmates that Mommy promised she'd come this time, he realized this wasn't just another moment to comfort with words. She believed it, she needed it. Now he stood in the aisle, gripping the gift box as guilt and helplessness gnawed at him. Parents around him chatted and laughed, picking out toys and decorations. He felt completely out of place, a man failing at the one thing that mattered most. And then, through the noise, he heard it, a gentle voice nearby. A woman was kneeling beside a little boy, helping him find his lost balloon. "See, nothing's ever really lost," she said, smiling softly as the child giggled. Her warmth caught Ryan's attention instantly, not her beauty, though she was beautiful, but the kindness in her tone. Something about her presence calmed the storm in his chest. In that moment, an idea, desperate, ridiculous, and born out of love, began to form in his mind. Maybe, just maybe, this stranger could help him give Lily the one birthday she'd never forget. Ryan hesitated near the aisle, his heart pounding as he watched the woman help the little boy tie his balloon string back onto his wrist. Her laugh was soft, reassuring, the kind of sound that made even strangers feel safe. He didn't even know her name, yet something about her presence felt familiar. She stood up, dusting off her jeans, and that's when Ryan finally forced himself to move. "Excuse me," he said, his voice uncertain. She turned toward him, her hazel eyes curious. "Yes." He opened his mouth to speak, and froze. How did one even begin a conversation like this? "Hi, I'm a widower, and I need you to pretend to be my wife." It sounded insane even in his head. He rubbed the back of his neck, looking painfully awkward. "You were really kind with that kid. You seem like someone who's good with children." The woman tilted her head slightly, cautious but polite. "Thank you. I love kids, actually." He swallowed hard. Do you have any of your own?" She shook her head, a faint shadow passing over her face. "No, not yet." That pause gave him just enough courage, or desperation, to say it. "I know this is going to sound completely insane, but, can you pretend to be my wife for a week?" Her eyebrows shot up. "I'm sorry, what?" Ryan's words came out in a rush. "It's not what it sounds like. My daughter, Lily, she's turning 7 this weekend. She's been telling everyone that her mom's coming to her birthday. But, her mom passed away 3 years ago. I tried to correct her, I really did, but she's convinced she'll see her again. His voice cracked. "I just want her to have one happy birthday. One where she doesn't have to feel that empty chair at the table." The woman's lips parted slightly. She stared at him, not sure whether to be moved or alarmed. "You don't even know me," she said softly. "I know," he admitted, eyes filled with quiet pleading. "And you don't owe me anything. But when I saw how you comforted that boy, I thought, maybe you could help me. Just pretend for a few days. You'd meet my daughter, come to the party, and after that, you'd never have to see us again." She looked down, struggling to find words. It wasn't every day a stranger asked you to play his dead wife. "Why me?" she finally whispered. Ryan gave a small, broken laugh. Because you smiled like someone who could make a child believe in magic again. The silence between them stretched. Around them, shoppers passed by, unaware of the strange, fragile moment unfolding between two lost souls. Finally, she sighed, her expression softening. 1 week, he nodded quickly, relief washing over his face. Just 1 week, she hesitated, then offered her hand. I'm Emma Brooks. Ryan, he said, shaking it gently. Ryan Cole. Her lips curved into a small, hesitant smile. All right, Ryan, I'll do it, but only to make your little girl smile. As she walked away to finish her shopping, Ryan stood there, both terrified and grateful. He had no idea what kind of chaos or healing this decision might bring, only that, for the first time in years, his daughter's birthday might actually feel whole again. The first morning Emma arrived at the Cole residence, the house felt like a memory of happiness long buried under silence. The pale blue curtains were drawn halfway, the scent of fresh pancakes filled the kitchen, and somewhere in the living room, a little girl's laughter echoed faintly, light, bright, and innocent. Ryan opened the door, awkwardly tugging at his shirt collar. You came, he said, a mix of relief and disbelief coloring his tone. Emma smiled softly. I said I would, didn't I? Before he could respond, small footsteps pattered across the wooden floor, and Lily appeared, a tiny burst of sunshine with curly brown hair and a gap-toothed grin. She froze when she saw Emma, eyes wide as if seeing something from a dream. Mommy, she whispered. Ryan's breath caught. He had rehearsed this moment over and over, but nothing prepared him for how his daughter's voice cracked with hope. Emma knelt to Lily's level, her heart squeezing painfully. Hi, sweetheart, she said gently, brushing a strand of hair from Lily's face. I heard it's your birthday soon. Lily's eyes filled with tears, but she nodded eagerly. Daddy said you might come. Ryan looked away, guilt twisting inside him. He wasn't sure if he was saving his daughter's heart, or breaking it further. Over the next few days, Emma slipped into the rhythm of the Cole household with surprising ease. She helped Lily decorate the living room with paper stars, let her paint her nails a glittery pink, and even pretended to be a princess mom during their little tea parties. Each night, when Lily fell asleep, Ryan would find Emma sitting quietly on the porch, her gaze lost in the fading light. You're good with her, he said one evening, leaning against the railing. Emma smiled faintly. She's easy to love. There was something in the way she said it, something tender but distant, as if she knew she wasn't meant to stay. Neighbors began to notice. Mrs. Turner from next door waved from her garden, whispering to her husband. Looks like Ryan finally moved on. For the first time in years, the house didn't seem lonely. Laughter returned to the halls, and Ryan found himself smiling without realizing it. But at night, when Emma had gone home and Lily was asleep, the guilt always crept back. He'd look at the family photo still sitting on the shelf, his late wife's smile frozen in time, and whisper, I'm sorry, Em. I'm just trying to make her happy. Meanwhile, Emma, in her tiny apartment across town, stared at her reflection, wondering how she'd gotten here. Pretending to be someone's wife, someone's mother, but somehow feeling more at home than she had in years. For Lily, the illusion was perfect. For Ryan and Emma, it was becoming something dangerously real. The day of Lily's birthday dawned bright and golden, sunlight spilling through the kitchen windows like a blessing. Balloons floated near the ceiling, ribbons curled across the floor, and the scent of chocolate cake filled the house. For the first time in years, laughter replaced the echo of loss that had long haunted those walls. Ryan stood by the counter, clumsily trying to frost cupcakes. His hands were steady from years of business meetings and signed contracts, but today, they trembled. This day meant everything to Lily. And maybe, to him too. Emma entered the room wearing a soft floral dress, her hair loosely pinned up. Ryan froze for a moment, completely forgetting the task at hand. For an instant, she didn't look like the woman he'd met in a toy store. She looked like someone who belonged there, in that kitchen, in that life. Lily came running down the stairs, squealing, Mommy. Daddy, look at my dress. She twirled in her little yellow outfit, eyes shining with pride. Ryan swallowed the lump in his throat. You look beautiful, sweetheart. The party began at noon. The house filled with music, balloons, and the chatter of children. Parents from school came too, and more than one of them smiled warmly at Emma, saying things like, "It's so nice to finally meet you," and, "You two make such a lovely family." Emma smiled and played along, but every compliment sent a strange ache through her chest. She wasn't Lily's mother, she wasn't Ryan's wife, and yet, it felt real. She watched Ryan laugh as he helped Lily blow up balloons, watched him sneak extra icing onto cupcakes just to make her giggle. The quiet, grieving man she'd met a week ago was gone, replaced by someone alive again. And she realized, with a pang, that she was falling for the very family she was supposed to be pretending to belong to. As the evening settled in, the lights dimmed. Everyone gathered around the table. Lily sat between them, a candlelit cake before her, 7 little flames flickering like tiny stars. "Make a wish, sweetheart," Ryan whispered. Lily closed her eyes, her hands clasped tight. "I wish this could last forever," she said softly before blowing out the candles. The room erupted in cheers, but Ryan and Emma just stared at each other, the unspoken truth hanging heavy between them. Later that night, after the guests had gone and Lily was fast asleep, Emma stood by the kitchen window, her reflection trembling in the glass. Ryan walked in quietly, carrying 2 mugs of coffee. "She was happy," Emma said, her voice low. "You did it. You did it." The word struck him like a blade, because it wasn't him. It was them, together. He set the mug down, stepping closer. "You don't have to pretend anymore," he murmured. "The week's over." Emma turned to him, her eyes glistening. "I know." Silence filled the room, soft, aching, alive. Then she smiled faintly, tears slipping down her cheeks. "But tell me, Ryan, who said I was pretending?" He looked at her, really looked at her, the woman who had walked into his life as a stranger and somehow healed parts of him he thought were gone forever. He reached out, his hand trembling as it brushed away her tears. Outside, the faint hum of crickets filled the night. Inside, 2 hearts, once strangers, once actors in a lie, stood on the fragile edge of something real. Because sometimes, the most beautiful truths begin as a story you never meant to write.